It's a great day for hockey in Grand Rapids. Welcome inside the Patterson Ice Center for this Saturday matinee between your Grand Rapids Catholic Central Cougars and the Forest Hills Northern and Eastern Bird Dogs. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is Cougar Puck Radio. Make sure to like and subscribe, and also sign up for notifications so you know when we're going live with each and every one of our game broadcasts, including this one, our second game in 4 days this week for the Cougars. They're on the road once again, back at Patterson for the second time in 2 weeks, and they're hoping that this trip over to the southeast side of GR goes a little better than last week's trip, which ended up resulting in a 4-0 loss to Forest Hills Central as new head coach Kyle Marchand went up against his former squad, and the Cougars could not break the ice here at Patterson. But they responded well last Saturday with a shutout win of Jackson Lumen Christi on the road. And then, if you watched on Wednesday, you know they took care of business against their OKRU Division rivals in the Grand Rapids Christian Eagles. In that traditional Thanksgiving Eve matchup, the Cougars came from 1-0 down to pick up a 3-1 victory and level their record on the season at 2-2. And Catholic Central now 1-1 against RU Division foes. They currently stand in 6th place out of 8 teams, and the team that is at the bottom of the OKRU is their opponent today, as Forest Hills has not picked up a win yet this season. They're 0-6, including back-to-back shutout losses coming into this game. Last time they played, they fell 4-0 to East Grand Rapids. They also competed on Wednesday night here at Patterson. Of course, it would be at Patterson against East Grand Rapids, as both teams call this facility home. We're on the West Rink today, in case you're curious, as Catholic Central decked out in its traveling blue uniforms and trying to pick up its second win on the road in 3 games. Last time out, Catholic Central in that 3-1 win got another goal from their defense corps. Noah Onstadt, the junior, scored his 3rd goal in 4 games after going his entire season last year without a single tally. So Coach Marchand's system does encourage the D to be more aggressive, and Onstadt is taking advantage of that permission, I suppose you would say. Also, big night on Wednesday for the freshman Gage Potter, playing on the top line with the captain Isaac Kappinga and Cade Heminger. Potter earned a pair of assists for his first 2 varsity points. Cade Heminger also had a goal and an assist. It was his deflection goal that ended up being the game winner early in the 3rd period, as the Cougars rallied to tie the score in the 2nd after falling behind in the 1st, and then they added 2 more in the 3rd period as they gradually grew into that game, as Coach Marchand told me prior to this afternoon's contest. And he said their team's going to have to work on getting a little bit better in the 1st period, but he loved how they increasingly picked up their intensity and played more aggressively as that game went along on Wednesday night against Grand Rapids Christian. So the Cougars at 2-2, the Bird Dogs at 0-6. Bird Dogs coached by Tom Bissett in his 15th season. He's 2 wins away from 200, but he would gladly just get the 1 win and get his team rolling in a positive direction so far this season. Much like the Cougars, the Bird Dogs have just 1 goalie available to them, and it's Wes Smith. Smith so far this season in his first varsity year has a .903 save percentage despite the 0-6 record, so he has not been the issue for Forest Hills. It's been much more about generating offense. I mentioned coming into this game having been shut out in back-to-back games. Their season high for goals in a game is just 2 in a 4-2 loss here against Lake Orion a couple of weeks ago. As for Catholic Central, I mentioned they got 3 last time out. They scored 3 on the road at Lumen Christi. So they have gotten to that 3 spot 3 separate times this year, including in that season opening defeat to Riverview Gabriel Richard. And the only time they didn't make it to 3 goals was that shutout loss to Forest Hills Central right here 8 days ago. All right, they're announcing the starting lineups, so I'll bring those to you as they are revealed. Morgan Pistelli is on the blue line for Catholic Central along with Parker Moore. Moore has 3 points on the season from the blue line for Catholic Central. And the starting forward line for Catholic Central will be Isaac Kappinga, centering Gage Potter and Cade Heminger. Cooper Moss, I should mention, also scored a goal on the power play for Catholic Central on Wednesday. So he's got a couple on the season. Jacob Aaron is between the pipes. He was outstanding, stopping a couple of breakaways that could have easily turned that game on Wednesday. Aaron, so far on the season, has a .895 save percentage, looking at the updated stats. And also on the year, a 2.75 goals against average with that 2-2 record. Smith is between the pipes for Forest Hills Northern. We've got Tilley and Verker on the back end for Forest Hills. Halverson, Duflo, and Dodge is the starting lineup up front. Duflo, a recent addition to the roster, and he's got 2 points already. Gus Lagsden leads Forest Hills in goals with 2. He's just a freshman. Time for the national anthem from Patterson. Back for the drop of the puck after this break. Always nice to have an actual singer for the national anthem. It's not a guaranteed, certainly. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is Cougar Puck Radio, game number 5 for Catholic Central in the 2025-26 regular season. And Catholic Central Hockey is brought to you by our gold sponsor, Innovia Wealth, along with our royal blue sponsors, Crispback, Fox Motors, Sharp Automotive, and 3-in-1 Solutions. The Cougar level sponsors are BMD Capital Partners, Byrne Tool and Design, SRS Building Products, Moore & Sons Roofing, and Horizon Bank. Big thanks to all. Also, Mike McLean and Jen Reynolds for helping to get everything moving behind the scenes. 2 awesome parents on this year's Cougars squad who have been very helpful and fantastic to work with. Continuing the tradition of that here at Catholic Central. Ben Kappinga last year, and of course, the whole Sova family, it seemed like, was always so helpful back when the Sova brothers were on the squad. Face-off won by Forest Hills, and Tilley rifles it into the Catholic Central end. Here's Morgan Pastelli, first-year Cougar defenseman. Chips it ahead. It's flicked forward by Gage Potter. Like I mentioned, coming off the 2-assist game. Kappinga unable to keep the puck in at the right point, so it's pulled back by Parker Moore. Lets the shot go. A high, hard one on Wes Smith. He gloves it and holds it 24 seconds into period number 1. All right, so outstanding energy to start the game here for Catholic Central. Both teams eager to get back at it after taking a couple of days off. No Friday game for either squad after playing on Wednesday. Kappinga fire, save, Smith, rebound, put right on goal by Gage Potter, but he's denied his first varsity tally. by the right pad of Wes Smith, who's had to be sharp in the opening minute. Back out to the point, Warden, the captain of Forest Hills, whiffed on the first shot, and then he fired wide from the left point. The puck drifts in behind the goal. Nolan Gino, the quite energetic and often bellicose winger for Forest Hills. He couldn't make anything happen. The Cougars break back in. It's Potter. He heads off after dumping the puck below the goal line. Early line change for Catholic Central. 1 minute into the game. Carlander steps up and took the puck away, but ended up losing it to Gus Lagsden, the freshman with 2 goals on the year to lead the Bird Dogs team. It's a co-op squad, Forest Hills Northern and Eastern involved in that partnership, and it's been that way for a long time. Casey Ten Harmsel. He had an assist on Wednesday in the win against Christian. Handed it off for the pass ahead by Noah Onstott. That's deflected away. Carlander, chip and chase move. Behind the goal, Carlander couldn't pin it to the boards. And so breaking out of the Bird Dogs. Vance, the co-captain, clearing it ahead. Walkus pulled it into the attacking zone, but Ten Harmsel settles a bouncing puck. Walkus wipes him out with a strong check. Dumped in by Forest Hills, delayed offside, wiped off as the Bird Dogs tag up. There's the home rink or the home facility of the Bird Dogs, also East Grand Rapids, also Forest Hills Central. Long headman pass. Here's Cohen Potter from the corner, shooting sharp angle, and Smith kicked it out into the slot, and his teammates took care of the rebound. Scooted in by Landon Earl. Bumps it far side. Potter flicks it below the goal line. That's Cohen Potter, second-year Cougar. 2 Potters in the lineup once again. It's a tradition here at Catholic Central. Turned over, Moore couldn't keep it alive on the clearance. Banging it ahead goes Michael Dodge. A shot, good save by Aaron on the counterattack chance. Michael Dodge, no points this year. He had a couple of goals last season. He might not get a better look than that today, but he couldn't bury against Aaron, who made the save, and there was no rebound, just as crucially. 14:15 left in the first period. The scoreboard only at one end here in Patterson. Halverson back in the lineup after injury. Halverson missed a couple of games. This is just his 4th out of 7 for the Bird Dogs. He scored 33 points last season. Heminger pulls it out of the skates at Tilley. Heminger tried to stuff it short side, but he missed. Halverson tangling with Kappinga. Kappinga wins the puck. Potter bunts it back to Moore. Stepping by Halverson. Ending up below the goal line. Twisted out in front. Pastelli by the blue. Rifles the shot. That's off the leg of Dodge. But right to Gage Potter. Oh, he shot it off the referee. It bounced right in front of the net. But fortunately for Forest Hills, Tilley detected it. Tilley to Dodge. And he plays on to Matthew Duflo, who wasn't on the roster as of a couple of weeks ago, joined the squad. He's a Forest Hills Northern student, a senior. He has 2 assists in his first 4 games for the Bird Dogs. Warden flicked it off a Catholic Central stick. Pastelli circles in his own end. Notice Pastelli loves to get those crossovers going. This is Dozema, and a penalty. Penalty called in the neutral zone, cross-checking. First power play of the game coming up for someone. We'll see who it is. Heminger for Catholic Central sent to the box, so the Cougars go shorthanded. 12:59 left in the first. And yes, cross-checking is the penalty. Last time out for Catholic Central, they were very disciplined, just committing the 2 penalties. They killed both power plays against. And this struggling Forest Hills attack gets an early chance on the advantage. And this penalty kill brought to you by Inovia Wealth. The faceoff won by Cooper Moss. That's always a good start, but Lagsden's on the puck first. And dished it back to the blue line. Hard shot. Aaron, the save on Nolan Gino's chance from 55 feet away. Carlander wins the puck battle. He skies it, but right into the glove of Gino, but it's poked away from his blade by Cooper Moss, who's already got a shorthanded goal this year. couldn't make any headways that time, but he did get the clearance. 30 seconds into the penalty to Cade Heminger. 12:29 to go in the first period. I'm Matt Gajtka. We're here at Patterson in a scoreless game. Gino snaps a shot, and it's snatched by Aaron, and no further play. Gino's got some jump in his skates. He usually does. I mentioned he's a very aggressive player this year, living up to his reputation. The junior already has 25 penalty minutes to lead Forest Hills by a wide margin. I don't think anybody else even has 10. Just by frame of reference, Noah Onstad has the most PIMs on the Cougars, and he's got 12. So to get to 25 already is, well, piling up quite a few. Halverson has to skate back forward as the Cougars got the clear. Off the defensive zone draw. Warden takes a 10-foot pass, wanted to connect to Halverson, cutting diagonally. Halverson dragged it over the line, holds, feeds Tilley, closes, shoots. Way too high, about a foot over the crossbar. Tilley had 15 assists last year, but no points yet this season. They'd love to get him going with the Bird Dogs. Halverson backpedaling, saucer pass, gorgeous onto the tape of Warden. Right back to the blue line, Tilley held it on his backhand side. Onstad got in the way of that. Players tie up behind the goal. That's Cohen Potter, and it's free for the drive out of the zone by Noah Onstad. He takes care of business, and there are just 30 seconds remaining on this first penalty kill for Catholic Central. Lead pass, avoids everybody. No icing, though. Interesting, not sure why that was washed out by the linesman. Potter clears it off the body of Warden. Kappinga, one-on-one rush short. Kappinga got a good shot off. Thud off the pad of Smith. Wes Smith held his ground against Kappinga, who's got a goal and an assist this year. Errant pass. Skips right by everybody in a white sweater. That's icing against Forest Hills. And you heard the Mario Brothers sound effect. That's it for the power play. Catholic Central back to 5-on-5 with just under 11 minutes to go in the opening frame. Future games coming up for Catholic Central. They'll be, again, here at Patterson. Get used to it. They'll play the Bay Reps next Friday as Kappinga tries to go forward on the draw. And then Huron Valley, that's a team that's ranked in the top 10 in D3, as is Bay Reps. So challenges upcoming in a couple of showcases. Delayed offside against the Cougars. They got to back out, but the puck rimmed around on its own all the way out. So that allowed Postelli to send it right back into the mix across to Kappinga, who deflects it ahead. Postelli kicks it to his stick expertly. Great move by Postelli. Delivering to the corner. Potter centering. Kappinga got handcuffed by it. Now he turns it toward the net, and he misfired. Postelli holds again at the blue line, this time working against Tyler Baum. Sharp angle chance for Heminger, but he missed everything, and it caroms off the corner boards and all the way out, as it often does when you miss from that angle. Redirected ahead by Heminger on the dump play. Slammed around the wall by Will Slater. The Cougars playing well when they have 5 on the ice. They've controlled the action to this point and didn't give up much on the penalty kill either. Clipped ahead. Ryers lifts it into the Forest Hills bench off a deflection. I think Cooper Moss got a piece of it. We'll see what the officials say. Now they're just going to rule that Will Slater shot it off the rink, or excuse me, Ryers, Easton Ryers, was responsible for that puck going out because the faceoff stays in Forest Hills territory. 9:43 left in the opening period. There's the draw. Carlander digging in. Carlander turning away from pressure. Dished it on back. Onstad a shot. Deflected and punched just wide by Jackson Dozema, who was on the spot. Arrived just in time. Gavorkian shooting for a stick. Didn't find one. To the right point again. Onstad hammers it off the wood. Dozema up into the air and skated out of trouble by Halverson. He scoots down the right wing. Gavorkian ran him off. Good check. Oh, but a nice bounce for Forest Hills. It's Halverson getting it in the corner, looking to go back to Duflo in front, and he missed the goal on the one-timer. Moss collects the carom. Moss 2-on-3. Cougars changing behind the play. Carlander, the senior. who apparently has added a couple of inches to his height this year, looks a lot taller, dumps it in on goal. Smith melts it down. 8:48 to play in the first. Carlander listed on the Catholic Central line chart as 5'11". I've also noticed that Caleb McLean looks a little taller, just watching the warm-up. We're at a lower angle here than we are at Southside, so height is more evident. I've noticed that here at Patterson. Hammered ahead, icing the call against Forest Hills. That'll drag the face-off back down to our left. Speaking of standing tall, Jacob Aaron did just that the other night. He's 6'2", 210, so an imposing figure in goal for the Cougars. Second year as their primary starter. Well, the only goalie on the roster. Last year, I'll get back to that in a moment, as going down to a knee, 10 Harmsel rifling the shot, and he missed, but that's going to be a penalty against Forest Hills. 10 Harmsel drew it with a dynamic rush into the offensive end. Yes, last year, Gavin Daddario had to step in as an emergency goalie when Aaron missed a couple of games due to concussion. And I mentioned in the pregame, both of these teams just have the one goalie on the roster. So it's going to be Smith and it's going to be Aaron for Forest Hills and Catholic Central, respectively. Penalty called against Gus Lagsden for tripping 10 Harmsel. It's Casey 10 Harmsel. Again, good to see his brother Liam in attendance for another game. He's on break from his New England prep school. 10 Harmsel loads it up and shoots. That was blocked in front by Tilley, I think. First power play for Catholic Central. It's brought to you by Chris Back. Good pass across from Carlander. Onside shot, but Smith grabs it out of the air and hangs on. So tripping on Lagsden. We're 21 seconds into the power play. Penalty was called with 8:20 to go in the period. Now under 8 to go in the frame. Excuse me, Onstott. Back below the goal line and flipped up to neutral zone. And 10 Harmsel hands to Onstott. Soft backhand pass, good one. On to Kappinga. The Cougars have their zone entry they're looking for. Kappinga settles and feeds 10 Harmsel. Delivering it near side. Carlander backpedaling. Carlander to Moss. Those two connected for that power play goal last time out, but Carlander couldn't make the pass through Duflo, who picked it off and cleared. Steal by Halverson, shorthanded for Forest Hills. Trying to emerge from behind. Wrap around as he fell down. And I think Aaron got a pad on that. He's right into the mix in front. Moss speeding right by Baum. Oh, but he lost control as he tried to deke to the outside and spun through center ice by Charles Vance. 40 seconds remaining on the first power play of the afternoon for Catholic Central. Pastelli, some smooth moves to get around Vance to the middle. Morgan Pastelli still has it. Has a look. Gave it over far side Moore. His shot was deflected into the near corner. Retrieving Heminger. The pass eluded Dozema, but it ends up far corner Parker Moore. Gage Potter's in the middle, in that bumper position, if you will, on the power play. Back to the point it goes. Pastelli shot it off the post, and it came right out. What a ricochet, and cleared by Forest Hills. Pastelli nearly connecting for his second goal of the season already. These D are, they're shooting to kill early this year for Catholic Central. 3 of them have goals already. I mentioned Onstott has 2. Oh, Dozema took a shot at Nolan Gino. I don't know what Gino did. It was probably something to trigger that type of a sudden retaliation from Dozema. But I think Dozema might be the only one going to the box from that confrontation on the near side wall. Dozema fires his stick into the penalty box. Well, Gino is definitely an agitator, type of guy that's going to try to get you off your game. And so the Cougars go short again. Guessing that's a roughing penalty. did not see the signal. The drop of the puck right to the goal after Duflo on the draw. Aaron pounces on it. And yes, the call is roughing. And this penalty kill brought to you by Fox Motors. Some special teams in this first period. This already our third minor penalty. Ripped off the glass by Pastelli, gloved down by Liam Tilley though. Ryan Warden couldn't corral it. Pastelli tries the far wing. Halverson rescues it there, shot toward the front. And Dodge couldn't pull it out of the skates of Cohen Potter, and Cohen Potter gets the clear. Warden, the dump in cross corner. Halverson on it. Moore checked him. Collinon trying to pressure the point. It's fed from Duflo to Warden in the middle. And he was defended well by Pastelli, who's everywhere seemingly in this first period. Right toward the middle, though. Warden unable to draw it to his forehand side. Behind the goal, Halverson. Pass eluded Warden. Back to the point. Cradled by Tilley. Warden shooting, save, rebound, score! It's Halverson at the side of the net. Warden shot off the pad of Aaron, and on the screen shot, Aaron unable to control the rebound right to Halverson, and he scores his first goal and first point of the season. And Forest Hills has the first goal of the game, and for the first time in 3 games, the Bird Dogs have connected for a goal. They were shut out in back-to-back outings coming in. Well, if they're going to get one, you figure it's going to be Halverson. Give Warden and Tilley the assists. Second point of the year for Warden, first of the year for Tilley. And the Bird Dogs are 1 for 2 on the power play. Here comes Gino, drag move right to the goal, and Aaron had to make a save, keeping his pad pinned against the post to deny the ransacking Nolan Gino. Gage Potter flipped it right by Gino. Gavorkian picks off an attempted lead pass and scaled in by Heminger. 4.5 to go in the period. A power play goal for Forest Hills Northern Eastern. The Bird Dogs in search of not just a goal, but also their first win of the year. Kapinga turns it over for a forehand chance from the face-off circle. That's denied by Smith. Good opportunity. Have to expect you're going to see some noticeable hunger on Forest Hills after getting blanked again on Wednesday after starting this season at 0-6. The Cougars have played just 4 games, but they've won 2 of them to this point. They're trying to get their offense revved up. Wakas lifts it back against the grain. Cooper Moss read that play. Now Vance coughed it up to a blue jersey. There's Cooper Moss. Dozema popped back onto the stick of Ten Harmsel. Couldn't get by the picket fence that the Bird Dogs had set up at the defensive blue line. Moore delivering it ahead. Tipped off of Carlander's body. Baum gave it right back to Carlander. Carlander in some trouble. Lost it to Baum. Those two play catch as Ten Harmsel shovels it to Moore. 3:39 left in the first. Moore with his head up. The pass to Carlander, great catch. He just reached behind him blindly and stopped the puck. Always fun to watch when players can pull that off. Moore intercepts the clear. Moore to the corner with that pass. Cohen Potter. And what's the call here? Too many men on the ice. Yeah, there are 6 skaters out there for Forest Hills Northern. The call made. Catholic Central had the puck, though, so they might have wanted to try to make something happen regardless. But it's a bench minor for too many men. And Catholic Central goes back to the advantage. Looks like Dodge is serving the penalty, but technically a bench penalty. And this power play presented by Sharp Automotive, one of our Royal Blue sponsors. Turn back on the face-off win to Ten Harmsel. Well done by Carlander and Kapinga to team up to win that puck. Drifting out high Onstad, already 3 goals on the year. Tossed it back into the skates of Moss. He wasn't looking for it at the face-off circle. Warden, can he clear? He can't. Getting in the way beautifully was Carlander. Onstad trying to force it toward the middle. It's picked off, but not cleared by Halverson. Now he does, as Halverson dives down to the ice. Well, he's got a goal, so you know he's going to be energized. Twisted back on the right wing by Ten Harmsel to Kappinga. Gets by a man. Shot it. Saved by Smith. And he tumbles over as Kappinga was hunting the loose change, but none to be seen. 2:39 to go in the first period. 1:20 left on the advantage for Catholic Central. Fresh 5 bodies come out for the Cougars. Dozema, Gage Potter, Kate Heminger are the forwards. Parker Moore and Noah Onstad, the defensemen. And Vance is booted out of the faceoff circle for Forest Hills. Baum lost that draw to Catholic Central, and Moore ripping the shot, loose at the side of it. It goes in! Gage Potter has got his first varsity goal as he chips it by Wes Smith from the doorstep. And that's a good bingo. It's 1-1, 2:29 to go in the first. A power play goal for Forest Hills and a power play goal, for Catholic Central. Gage Potter gets the job done. The quick hands in front. And we're level once again. And a first period that's been dominated by special teams. Only fitting, we have a power play goal on the board for both teams. Dozema and Moore get the assist. Centering play by Moss as the Cougars look for more, but that's intercepted. Parker Moore, by the way, has 4 points on the year, and that ties him with Noah Onstad for the team lead. And the D-men shall lead them, apparently. Taken away, centered in front to Moss, and he's stopped. Stoned by Smith on the setup from Carlander. Back comes Forest Hills. Gino, he clips it to the middle, and it's off a body. Flipped in front. Fended off by Carlander and driven over the goal on the follow-up chance by Tyler Lennertz. The game opens up. You can say that again. Gino pulls in the pass. Snaps it ahead. Onstad gets on it as it deflected around the horn. He goes near wing to the goal getter, Gage Potter, but he turned it right over to Halverson, trying to put it in the skates of Onstad. No sail. Onstad checked him. Took the body, forgot about the puck as he knew he had numbers back in support. Potter drifts over the blue line. Gage Potter trying to hit the trailer in Heminger, but the feed was behind him. Heminger recovers it off the kick plate, right back to Gavorkian. Shot it and it was blocked. And look out, Halverson breaking ahead, looking for a chance. Onstad restricted him from behind. That'll be a penalty. It's holding against Onstad, and Forest Hills goes back to the power play. Halverson blocked the shot, and he created the opportunity that led to the penalty. And I'm sure Onstad felt like he had to do something, considering how dangerous Halverson can be. 10 goals last year, 33 total points. He's by far the top returning scorer for Forest Hills Northern and Eastern. Team that last year went 8-14-3. The call is holding against Onstad. The Cougars looking for a short-handed chance, can't poke it by the point. Held in by Halverson. Warden threw it to the middle, off the stick of Duflo. And Ten Harmsel, the defenseman, chipping it ahead. Here he goes after it, and he forced Liam Tilley to sprint all the way back, and Tilley made a heck of a play. Tilley gave it back up on transition. Halverson, oh, great move, and he missed the goal. Top left corner. He put it in the skates of Carlander. 25 seconds to go in the period. We'll go by that clock as the power play will carry over if Forest Hills doesn't score on this one in the next few seconds. Intercepted off the boards by Ten Harmsel, and he skies it all the way down. 12 seconds to go. One more chance. Dodge softly on net with that shot. Aaron plays it wisely because there were no Bird Dogs around. Pastelli spins it around the boards. Out it goes, and there's the buzzer, ending period number 1. Catch your breath. A lot of action. A goal to each side as both teams come out spirited on this Saturday afternoon. Back with the second period in about 10 minutes. Keep it right here on Cougar Puck Radio. Here we go, second period coming your way very shortly on Cougar Puck Radio. Great to see so many Catholic Central fans here in the building, and of course Forest Hills brings their home contingent as always. Halverson for Forest Hills, and Gage Potter, his first varsity goal for Catholic Central. Congratulations to him. I hate to miss firsts, and I missed Noah Onstadt. No, excuse me, not Onstadt. Who did I miss? I missed Morgan Pastelli's first varsity goal, as well as Parker Moore's first. Those were both scored on the road down at Jackson last Saturday. So I don't usually make the trips down to Jackson when they do play Lumen Christi, but still, hate to miss it. Halverson. Boy, that's a fast twitch athlete here. You got to keep close tabs on him. Halverson into the attacking zone. The power play continues for Forest Hills Northern and Eastern, a.k.a. the Bird Dogs. Get it? Huskies and Hawks. Tilly passes over to Duflo, running center point. Halverson, shot, watch out, bouncing in front. Aaron made the save. Warden hunting the rebound, and none to be found. Aaron has it covered. 30 seconds left on the power play. An umbrella look at the top of the zone for Forest Hills as they worked it around Duflo to Tilly to Halverson. Umbrella meaning 3 players at the top of that formation. It's the third power play for Forest Hills Northern Eastern. Dodge bunts it back to Tilly. Under pressure from Moore, so he quickly moved it along. And a stuff try from Dodge, side of the net on the backhand. Aaron denied that. Tilly shooting, tipped by Warden in the slot, and a save by Aaron again. With the pad this time, the leg pad. Tilly sprints right by Moore, but Moore caught up to him. So Moore, the defenseman, playing out high on the penalty kill. Interesting look for the Cougars. Power play is over. Catholic Central's killed off 2 out of 3. Each team is connected on the advantage. Kappinga freed it up for Casey Ten Harmsel. Wanted a toe drag against his fellow D-man, Tilly. Unable to do so. Heminger on the fresh ice. Gave it to Kappinga. Shot was blocked. Rejected by Dodge. Weird bounce in front. Catholic Central hunting it. Gage Potter and Kappinga, they can't get there, and they'll have to go chase, and that dump in goes just wide of Aaron's goal. So icing is the call. 15:22 remaining in the second. Thank you for joining us on this Thanksgiving weekend. As always, I'm happy to be back with you. My name is Matt Gajtka. Reminder to like and subscribe for our notifications when we do go live. A shot from the point by Pastelli, patted out by Wes Smith, who I think was pretty good in the first period, as the Cougars turned up the pressure. Pastelli, who played a bit of junior hockey last year, whipped it over on near wing. Potter couldn't command it. I keep saying Potter, but I've got to say first and last names when it comes to he and his brother. That's Gage. Here's Isaac Kappinga ripping the shot off the bottom of Smith's glove and just wide. Onstadt threw it into traffic. Into the corner it careens. Pastelli, backhand pass, Kappinga. Oh, he tried one more feed to Heminger, but it was a little bit away from his reach. Onstadt, did he keep it on the blue line? He did not. Ruled to be offside. Would love to see Kappinga just shoot that puck right away, as it was a good setup to him. Inside the left circle, he's got a good enough shot. He can score from 40 feet out, let alone 20. Kappinga wearing the C this year as the Cougars captain. Alternate captains. Onstadt, Moss. Two alternate captains for Catholic Central. Thought there was a third for a moment, but there is not. Jack Reynolds leads the pass ahead. McLean chasing. It's right in on Smith. Oh, he mishandled it. I thought he would try to freeze it. He did not. Nearly cost him. Still might cost him, actually. Cohen Potter distributing back out high to Gavorkian. Right back in deep to Cohen Potter. Battling Charles Vance. right on that goal line in the corner. It's a 5-man scrum, and Forest Hills clears. Walkus looking to get by Gavorkian. Gavorkian turned on the Jets, but turned it over to Baum. One-time chance in the middle by Walkus. Kicked out by Jacob Aaron. Remember that save. Keeps it 1-1. 13:42 to go in the second. And Forest Hills, they're keeping the pressure on, too. It's a team 0-6. They're hungry. They're desperately hungry for that first win. And they're playing like it, too. Give them a lot of credit. Moore drifted the pass to Gavorkian. Up through Reynolds. Might have deflected it, and he did not. Ruled icing against Catholic Central. Well, it's been a game of special teams so far, so you feel for some of the players a little bit further down the depth chart. Haven't seen much of Levi Jensen or Noah Berkmeyer yet. Brady Colnon has played some on the penalty kill. That fourth line has been largely limited by the fact that the Cougars haven't been able to roll their lines like they might want to. But if we get more 5-on-5 play, that'll change. And we just saw the line of Cohen Potter centering Reynolds and McLean. And the Cougars go back to the Carlander, Dozema, and Moss unit. And here is Cooper Moss on cue. Swerving through center all the way in for a shot, and he pulled it wide of the left post. Dozema gloves down the aerial pass. Tying up with Michael Dodge and punched right by Onstad at the blue line, but that's icing against Forest Hills. I was talking about the West Michigan Showcase coming up next weekend. I'll have both of those games on Cougar Puck Radio against Bay Reps and Huron Valley. And then the following weekend, too, I'll be on the road going up to Gaylord for will be a fourth consecutive season, I think. Flint Powers Catholic and the Jeffers Jets. Two more teams state ranked, at least on the Michigan High School Hockey Hub page, which is an invaluable resource for those of us who cover the game. Tilley back at the point. Crushed it behind the goal. Gino trying to loosen it up for Forest Hills. Jensen, there he is. There's Jensen and Berkmeyer. Those two twin towers flanking Colnon. The Cougars retrieve. Ten Harmsel lugging that puck. Jensen went offside. Got to tag up, and he does. Ten Harmsel to the faceoff circle. Backhand in front. Intercepted by Gus Lagsden. Lagsden, though, checked by Jensen. That frees the puck up for Berkmeyer. Ten Harmsel was calling for it in the middle. Jensen has it, trying to center for Onstad. It's in the skates of Graham Verker of Forest Hills, and swooping in to save the day, Nolan Gino finesses it to center ice. On the move, Lennartz ducks in behind the goal. Buying him some time. Lennartz all the way high in the zone. Forehand pass. In deep again to Lagsden. Gino all the way back. No, that was actually cleared by Ten Harmsel, so it's icing again against Catholic Central this time. Boy, they keep it cold in this rink. This is one of the coldest rinks I've broadcast in a long time. Can see my breath. We've got to be in the high 30s in here. Maybe low 40s at the most. Still warmer than outside, I suppose. We're trying to get this game in and then get home. We've got our first big winter storm coming through West Michigan almost as we speak. Side of the goal, Aaron gets the whistle, freezing the puck on his right pad. Grady Walkus digging in after it. Walkus, a familiar name for those who've been following Forest Hills hockey. Much like the Potter name is for Catholic Central. Warden trying to force it toward the front. Postelli had it picked off. Deflected ahead by Gage Potter. Gage Potter is our only goal getter for Catholic Central so far. Kappinga had his pocket picked, but he back checks against Vance. The puck is loose. Postelli in the near side corner. Up the boards it comes. Flicked by Gage Potter. Parker Moore couldn't corral. Kappinga tips it forward, tries to skate in after it against Slater. Slater interfering a bit, and Kappinga draws the penalty. Kappinga with the puck, delayed call, extra attacker comes on, Aaron to the bench. Kappinga ripped it off a pad, right to Carlander though, he is that extra man. Centering pass Moore, and turned over to Duflo. Power play number 3 upcoming for Catholic Central. 10:29 to play in the second. Each side now has had a couple of power plays, or excuse me, 3 power plays. Holding the call against Will Slater, junior D-man for Forest Hills. Kappinga, Carlander, and Moss are your forwards on this Catholic Central power play presented by 3-in-1 Solutions. All the way back, and a high, hard one from Ten Harmsel that missed the target. Onstad on it, good pass across, in front, Kappinga open, saved by Smith, and the rebound cleared by Tilley. The Cougars got that seam pass. Uh-oh, hold that thought. Halverson backhand, glove save. Point blank chance for Halverson, and Aaron made the stop, saving the Cougars from what would have been a discouraging shorthanded goal against. 10 to go in the period. Onstad, I was just about to say the Cougars were passing the puck well in the offensive zone. Onstad try to get it back. The pass went all the way through to Carlander, stripped by Tilley, and he nudges it to the neutral zone. Halverson wiped out as he collided with Ten Harmsel, and Ten Harmsel, well, maybe not. It might be Onstad who just got penalized for cross-checking. So there goes that power play. And it's Onstad, not Ten Harmsel. I thought that was a legal play by Casey. He was just as entitled to that space as Halverson was, but Onstad gets called for cross-checking. That'll lead to a 4-on-4 situation for the next 1 minute and 4 seconds. A lot of open ice for the next little bit. In a 1-1 game, Onstad's second penalty of the game. Noah now has 16 PIMs on the year to lead Catholic Central. Pustelli circles the wagons. Good lead pass right into the path of Jackson Dozema. Poke checked though by Ryers, and spun all the way down the rink, short of the icing line. 45 seconds to go on this 4-on-4 situation. Parker Moore hopping into the attacking zone. He's smashed as he ran into Tyler Leonards on the far side, but Leonards handed it right back to Catholic Central on the errant feed intended for Nolan Gino. Pustelli makes Gino miss. The pass to an open wing, and that's where the 4-on-4 can mess you up sometimes on the breakout. There was no one there. 5-on-5, there probably is a Cougar in the path of that puck. The saucer pass goes by Dozema. Halverson hammered. Good check from Parker Moore. Then Halverson goes down. Catholic Central's Dozema takes over. 2 to go on the 4-on-4. Warden couldn't hold, and Dozema charges back short-handed. Dozema knocked the stick out of Ryan Warden's hand as he pushed past him, but Verker pins Dozema, and the power play can commence for Forest Hills. Matthew Duflo. 38 seconds left on the advantage. It's a short power play. Halverson centered. Duflo shoved it wide on the one-timer. Halverson takes it right back. Spinning it back against the grain. Tilley catches up to it, lost control. Now he shoots, but he missed. It ends up in behind the goal. Right to the front by Duflo, and Aaron with a stick save. 16 seconds remaining on the advantage. The 4th power play of the afternoon already for Forest Hills. Shot was blocked by Gavorkian out top, and it's offside against Forest Hills. It's interesting to see the Cougars using D-men high in the zone as penalty killers. Gavorkian there, and earlier Moore. Just a fun nuance to how Coach Marchand approaches the shorthanded situations. Capping won the faceoff. Right back to 10 Harmsel. Skates it out of trouble and shoots it all the way down. And is that icing? It might have been after the power play was over. Yeah, it is icing. So even though Smith apparently froze it, the whistle had already sounded, I think, unless they're going to say it was an official's mistake. No, they are not. They being the two linesmen. One to one your score. No goals in this second period. We're more than midway through the second. 7:30 left. And Forest Hills controls the faceoff, but inadvertently helped out to center by Grady Walkus. He was trying to make a pass, but his teammates weren't ready for it. So Pastelli hops on the loose biscuit, getting a short assist from Jacob Aaron. Pastelli couldn't get it out. Baum held on the blue line. Walkus, and he's bumped by Pastelli from behind, though. That's another penalty. And the penalties are piling up for Catholic Central. Pastelli to the box. That's the 5th minor committed in this game, as we're just over halfway through regulation time. And we'll see what the call is in just a moment. Just hope it's only a 2-minute minor and nothing more than that, but the referees are having a short debate over it. See what they think. It was a hit from behind, so there's always the chance it could be something more. And we'll see what they put on the board. Morgan Pastelli, senior D-man to the box, and it is just a 2-minute penalty. Isaac Capping, the captain, talking to one of the referees about it. So that is that. And Catholic Central shorthanded yet again. The only goal they allowed was on the power play to Justin Halverson in the first period. But the Cougars quickly had a response on their own advantage. And this penalty kill presented by Inovio Wealth on Cougar Puck Radio. Duflo ties up with Cappinga. The bouncing puck right to the front. Oh, it squirts in at the front of the net. Michael Dodge nudged it between the pillows of Aaron, and it just scooted over the goal line. 5 seconds into the power play, and Forest Hills has another man advantage goal. This time it's Michael Dodge, his first of the year, first point of the year. For the second time this afternoon, the Bird Dogs have the lead. 7:01 to play in the second. Forest Hills 2 for 5 on the power play. Tilley back for it. Turned it over high in the zone. Moss tried to guide it toward the front. It was picked off. So Liam Tilley also gets an assist. Tilley has 2 points. Mentioned last year he had 15 assists from the blue line. Aaron stops the music with 6:42 remaining in the period. Well, we'll see if Catholic Central can do what they did in the first, which is score rather quickly after Forest Hills took the lead. Dozma against Lagsden at the dot. Dozma controls the puck, and 10 Harmsel takes over. To Carlander up the boards. On the breakout, but his pass to the middle was picked off. Lennertz driving it in deep. Lennertz, the sophomore. A couple of underclassmen on this Forest Hills team. Stashed in front by Gino, all the way back to Verker. To the middle, deflection. Oh, Aaron kicked it out. Desperation save. That ricocheted off of Lagsden, nearly his 3rd goal of the season. Instead, Aaron keeps the Cougars down just 1, and Catholic Central back on the attack. Carlander passed it off the boards, but Gino ripped it away, and on down it goes. So another spectacular save by Jacob Aaron. And we remain only 2-1 on the scoreboard. As Carlander reaches out and deflects that puck up into the Cougars bench. Coach Marchand, in fact, grabbed it. He's not going to keep that particular souvenir. He flings it back to the officiating crew. So a very quick power play goal for Forest Hills on that advantage. They're 5th. Could say that the Bird Dog has got a bounce. They'd probably say they earned that bounce. That's hockey for you sometimes. Potter wedges it loose. Heminger turned to shoot, and he rifled that into the corner. Gunned out of the zone by Forest Hills. Pastelli pounces on the rolling puck. 5.5 to play in the period. He looks up ice, does Pastelli. Tried to stretch it out to Heminger. Broken up, but right to Kappinga. He fed Gage Potter. He turned it over at the blue line. Back to Potter, over-skated. Warden, though, handed it right back to Pastelli. Near side delivery. Heminger sprays some snow inside the blue line to stop there. Kappinga, one hand on the stick, controlling the puck. Kappinga, the Cougars' power forward, the centerman. Going one-on-one against Vance, creating some space, hitting Potter in the corner. Gage Potter right back out to Pastelli. Dusts it off, shoots, saved by Smith. Rebound to the corner. Heminger reaches in. Vance whacked it right to Gage Potter. Gage will shoot, save Smith, big rebound. Still free in the slot, Kappinga trying to turn it through traffic. Unable to get it on target and cleared by Forest Hills. Momentarily, Pastelli revs it up. Oh, but they're offside are the Cougars. And Coach Marchand and Coach Moss are both saying, hey, our guy got to the bench. He wasn't even on the ice. That was Kappinga. It's always tough in the second period when you're changing on the end that you're trying to attack. You've got to get both skates off the ice surface in order to be deemed to be off the rink. You can still have part of your body, I guess, breaking the plane of the rink, if you will, over on that that bench door. I don't know if I explained that well enough, but in that case, the linesman ruled that Kappinga had not changed. Steal by Cohen Potter, stuff it in front, and Smith makes the save, and Halverson charging back the other way. Moore made a great play with the stick to take that puck away from Halverson, who got a few hard strides and nearly had a breakaway. Slater's got to pull it out to center. So Smith makes a key save for Forest Hills. The goalie is being heard from. Another penalty, though, against Catholic Central. Might be interference, and Moore talking to the referee with 3:47 left in the second period. This will be a 6th power play for Forest Hills. There wasn't 10 Harmsel who got called for it. 2 for interference. Oh, and we've got 2 more for unsportsmanlike conduct. So Potter's in the box, Cohen Potter, for interference, holding up the Forest Hills forecheck. And then a penalty to Parker Moore stacked on top of that. I think he might have gotten 2 and a 10. It's a 5-on-3 power play for Forest Hills, already leading it 2-1 and already having converted twice on the man advantage. Huge spot in this game, obviously. Kappinga trying to kill some time. He escorts that puck to the boards. It squirts out in front. Onstad couldn't clear. Kick to his stick, Halverson. Halverson, fan on the shot. Came free to Warden, though. Clears it across to Liam Tilley. Thought about a move toward the net. Instead, he passes off to Halverson. 2-man advantage for 2 minutes for Forest Hills. Tilley off to Duflo. Right back to Liam Tilley. Settles. Gave it to Halverson. Down deep Warden. One-timer Tilley. Patted out by Aaron. 3:10 to go in the period. 1:23 remaining on the 2-man. Halverson shooting. It's blocked by Kappinga, and he hoists it down. Isaac Kappinga gets it out, and he sprints to the bench. Replaced by Cooper Moss on the PK. Moss doing a good job wrecking this breakout, but The Bird Dogs are into the attacking zone. Halverson with a minute to go on the two-man advantage. Tilley, far wing, Duflo, ripped the shot save. Rebound, they hack away. Aaron's pushed into the net. They say no goal. Michael Dodge thought he had his second of the period, but ruled that Aaron was either pushed in or he had already covered the puck, or possibly both. 50 seconds to go on the two stacked minor penalties to Catholic Central. And Aaron keeps them again just down one. Both Cohen Potter and Parker Moore in the penalty box for Catholic Central. And someone else is also serving a penalty in the Cougars box. I'll get to that in a moment. Play continues on. Pastelli couldn't quite clear after the faceoff win. Walkus takes it right to the top of the circle. Fed Verker, high shot, snagged by Aaron. That was going over the net, but Aaron made sure to grab it anyway and hang on. 39 seconds remaining on this two-man advantage. The drama picking up late in the second period. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is Cougar Puck Radio. Thanks for joining us from Patterson Ice Center. The Bird Dogs looking for their first win. Shot blocked. Came through from Leonard's, but the Cougars got in the way of that, but they couldn't get it out. They flipped it into the bench on the home side. Pastelli, Dozema, and Moss are your penalty killers. Dozema and Pastelli having a chat about presumably defensive responsibilities here. Half minute left on the 5-on-3. Lagsden whacks it back to the point. Leonards spins it to Verker. Back to Leonard. Center point. Far side. A shot by Geno's blocked by Morgan Pastelli. He had a huge sequence of blocks against Christian on Wednesday night too. Geno pass across. Leonard shooting right into the chest of Aaron with 11 seconds left on this desperate situation for Catholic Central. You might face a few two-man disadvantages in a season, but rarely are they 2 minutes long. It's just so exhausting for the penalty killers, and the Cougars get some fresh legs out there. Cappinga with Carlander and Pastelli. I would assume that when Parker Moore gets back on the ice, he'll join as well and stay on the ice. Pastelli tried to clear off the glass, but it hopped over the short glass and out of play. Tough break. Unless Moore can't come out. If he's got 2 and 10, he can't come out of the box. We're about to find out what's going to happen from this sequence. I didn't hear all the penalties announced. It was more than just the 2. I know that. They tie up off the draw. Pastelli has the puck. 2 seconds to go on the two-man, and it's over. Both Cougars escape. Moore and Conan join the fray. So Cohen Potter must have gotten 2 and 10. Intercepted by Carlander high in the zone. 90 seconds to go in the period. His pass goes right through the skates of Brady Conan, though. Warden circles, feeds off the wall. Halverson taps it back. Duflo. 5-on-5. The Cougars PK comes through in a massive way. Moore trying to pry it loose from Dodge. Dodge thought he had scored on that goal mouth scramble. He did not. Tilley. Smashed by Cappinga. Loose puck to the Cougars. Backhanded high in the zone. Dangerously kicked toward the net by Halverson. And they'll try to clear again. Deflected out of the defensive zone by Carlander after Pastelli sent it his way. Dumped right back in by Forest Hills. 50 seconds to go in the period. Pastelli. Ooh, almost handed it over to Halverson. Instead it got through to Parker Moore. He set sail. Moore the shot. Good save by Smith. He booted it right back out. And Halverson. Now he's going to try 1-on-2 against Ten Harmsel. Halverson's shot deflected out of play. Ten Harmsel got a stick on that, I think. Nice rush by Parker Moore, by the way. He's activating quite a bit this season. That close to scoring his second goal of the year. That would have energized the Cougars bench. Certainly. As they try to get back to work on the attack. Bouncing puck all the way through center off the body of Gage Potter, right in on Wes Smith. He holds on with 22 seconds remaining before the intermission. Well, it's been an entertaining one so far. If you're a Cougars fan, I know you're hoping for more offense. Still plenty of time left. Dozema versus Tyler Baum at the dot. Dozema goes forward with it. 20 seconds to play in the period. Dozema centered. Onstad creeping up. And a shot from Heminger. That's off the pad of Smith from 10 feet out. 10 Harmsel. Cradles. Holding. 7 seconds remaining in the period. Played it in deep. Gage Potter needs to center it. He knows that. He shoots. Deflected. Just offline. Onstad was joining the attack, but he couldn't get there in time as the buzzer sounds, and Onstad fires the puck away with disdain. 1 goal in that period, scored by Forest Hills. Michael Dodge, a power play tally with 7:01 to go in the frame, and that was it. Catholic Central kills off a 2-man advantage for 2 minutes, and they are down just 1 going into the third. So will the Bird Dogs earn their first win of the season, or will Catholic Central win on the road for the second straight weekend? We'll find out in about 10 minutes on Cougar Puck Radio. Here we go, third period from Patterson. Catholic Central needs at least one in this third to get something out of this game. Step one would be staying out of the penalty box. They have been shorthanded 7 times today. Coming off the big penalty kill, here's a quick turnover and forced toward the front by Gage Potter, but it did not connect with Cade Heminger. Sent back the other way, Halverson trying to win the race to the puck. Well, he did win the race to the puck, but he didn't get there ahead of the goal line. He had to stop it in order for that to not be icing. He had to stop it short of the goal line on the dump-in. It's not like the NHL or other levels of play, mostly pro hockey. But also you see that at high-level juniors, college as well, where you can win the race to the face-off dot, essentially, against the defenseman, and the icing will be waved off. This hammered in by Heminger after the Cougars controlled the puck in the neutral zone. Down 2-1. The Bird Dogs looking for their first win of the season. They're 0-6 to start. Heminger whipped the shot from center point. It caroms off the end boards, and it flops on top of the back of the net. And so that is a whistle and a stoppage in play. Catholic Central got a goal in the first period from Gage Potter. Didn't have a lot of sustained attack in the second period as they were shorthanded 4 separate times. We've had 10 combined power plays in this game, 3 for the Cougars. They're 1 for 3. All the goals scored in this game have been on the power play. Halverson and Dodge for Forest Hills Northern and Eastern. The Cougars trying to put together their first win streak of the year. They've alternated wins and losses in their first 4. Or no, excuse me, I'm wrong about that. It's been 2 straight wins for Catholic Central. Into the middle, Onstad, right on net save, rebound, score! Cooper Moss slides it into the open side after Smith made the save on Onstad from the slot. Moss pounced on the rebound, and we're tied 2-2 with 16:10 to go in regulation time. Keep the change, you filthy animal. Moss has 3 on the year. Onstad gets the primary assist. Great work for the Cougars coming out from behind the goal line as well on the play. New hockey game at Patterson. First even strength goal of the game, too. Solid move from Dozma to get himself some time and space. Shoots off the back foot, that was blocked. So they didn't have to wait long to get the game tied. Baum sends it on ahead. Ten Harmsel with the regroup. Baum intercepted that high in the zone. And back behind the Cougars' goal it goes again. And those massive saves by Jacob Aaron in that second period, they loom large now, as his Cougars are back on level terms. It's a team game. Goaltending's all part of that. No need to apologize for it. You get those big saves. It's got to motivate you as a group of skaters as well. Pastelli drives it ahead. Off a stick. Verker takes it for Forest Hills. Turned it over to Parker Moore. He was tripped on the near side. And Catholic Central is going to get a power play to try to take the lead for the first time today. Parker Moore showing an offensive flair. I've been impressed by the progression in his game over the offseason. He's flashing for sure. Dodge off for tripping. That's the call. 14:53 to go in the third. It's the third tripping call against Forest Hills Northern on 4 total penalties. And that's a team face-off win right there as Kappinga helped it back to Ten Harmsel. Carlander clipped it across over to Onstad. Changing the angle, now feeds Moss, who steps into that space over on the right side that was vacated. Free puck, though. Duflo couldn't clear. Onstad held it. Still available. Kappinga hops on it for Catholic Central. Capping trying to push it by Tilly. In the middle, Moss centering just away from Carlander and intercepted by Halverson, who works back 1-on-2 shorthanded. Make it 1-on-3. Made one man miss. Couldn't get by. Ten Harmsel, who poke checked him expertly. Capping driving down the boards. Tilly takes over, though, for Forest Hills. He reversed it. Near corner. Up the boards, off the body of Halverson, out to center. Potter to Ten Harmsel, right back to Gage Potter. Churning those legs, getting into the attacking zone. Carlander grabs it. Second minute of the power play. Shot at sharp angle, missed. Dozma takes it back. Try to shove that pass in front, broken up. Halverson, oh, he's tripped at center, but no call. The officials rule that he went down too easy. And the Cougars stay on the power play. Morgan Pastelli cruising in, but his pass hit a leg and jammed down the length of the rink by Tyler Baum. 24 seconds left on the power play. Parker Moore, and he had it knocked off his stick. I think Baum was the one who got that. He and Vance converged on him. Baum breaks up this cross-rink pass. Aaron's got to play it away from the side of his goal. Pastelli takes over, but that's going to do it for the power play. Catholic Central now 1 for 4. Vance hit his own man with the clear, but it came right back to him, and he sent it right back into Cougars real estate. Heminger redirects it ahead. Colnon on the move. Colnon trying to center for Heminger off a Forest Hills skate. Moore, wrist shot. That didn't get through. That hit Vance. It was a defensive dynamo on that shift. Angled out through. Here's Leonard's offside. Forest Hills. Baum thought, no way, that could be me, but it had to have been him. Tyler Leonard's had a full head of steam, and he had Baum with him. But the timing of that rush just a little bit off, and the Cougars survive that. As we return to 5-on-5 play. 12:29 to go in the third. Played right through Reynolds and by Ryers. No icing. Easton Ryers takes it back for Forest Hills. Nolan Gino driving down left wing with Leonards in tow. Banked it off the end wall and whistle by the referee. He thought that Aaron had covered it. He had not. He tried to hand it off to Ten Harmsel. And the referee apologizes. At least I think that's what he's doing. Looked like that's what he was doing. Dozma for Catholic Central against Gus Lagsden of Forest Hills at the face-off circle. And Lagsden, the freshman, is booted out for making a move too quick. So Gino steps in, and Dozma won the face-off. Oh, but it's turned over off a skate right to Lagsden. Lobs it on net on the backhand. Didn't get a lot on that. And Aaron snaps it up with the trapper. 2-2 in the third. Cooper Moss's third of the season has tied this score. He scored that just 54 seconds into the period. We've had a selection of Christmas music that I have not heard before. Heard a Bryan Adams song. Didn't know he did Christmas songs. That was at the intermission. We just heard a techno version of Feliz Navidad. In case you're curious, Gino, good pass in front, and Lagsden's shot was blocked by Ten Harmsel, and he gets it out on second attempt. Tilly speeds it across, right back to Verker and over to Liam Tilly. Two veteran D-men play catch. Well, they tried to. Then the pass hit a man trying to get off the ice. That was Leonards. He was checked by Moss, sent further into the bench, and Moss powered it ahead. Tilly skating well. He can definitely move his feet, Liam Tilly. He picks those skates up and puts them down. Here's Heminger doing the same thing. Centered onslaught. One more pass. Backside. Oh, they missed the goal. Heminger had a chance to slide it into the open net. I don't think he was expecting that return pass, though, from Gage Potter. Halverson couldn't deke by Pastelli, who held the fort on the near wing. Great action. Up and down we go. Pastelli rushing it. Poke checked. Right back to Cappinga. Cuts inside. He's open, and he missed the goal from between the circles. It deflects out to Halverson, one-on-one with Onstadt. Now 1-on-3 as the Cougars backtrack. Centered out in front of the goal. Joining the fray was Duflo. Couldn't get the shot on target. Outstanding hockey game. Heminger clears it all the way down, all the way on net, in fact. Wes Smith has to make the play. Off to Slater. Catholic Central's changing. Moss tried to swat it ahead. Oh, it just popped out to center. Carlander otherwise would have had a 2-on-1 with Dozema, but the whistle sounds with 10-12 to play in the third. Neutral zone face-off. Forest Hills wins it. They clear to center. Gino battling, but Cooper Moss wins the biscuit. Around behind and out the near side. Gavorkian keeps it alive off of Forest Hill's stick. Lagsden. He'll try this near wing again. And Leonards does swat it through. And on the money for Gino. Gino, sharp angle, and he hit the outside of the net. Actually cut a piece of the glove of Aaron. Not officially a shot on goal. And Gino was smashed behind the play, and he's slow to get up. I think that was Cappinga who might have hit him. He's the closest man to him at the moment. I took my eye off the situation and looked up ice as the puck was going there. Carlander hops on a loose puck, centered it out in front, looking for Cappinga. Swatted back in deep by Gavorkian on the backhand. Carlander takes over again. Carson Carlander softly to the middle. Cappinga drifts it, and he missed. Gavorkian jams it back to Carlander. Good shift from this line. Verker distributes back, though, for Forest Hills, and Ryan Warden, one of the co-captains, has some room. The senior D-man, though, fired the pass offline, trying to hook up with Walkus. Didn't work. That's icing against Forest Hills. 8:50 remaining. Feels like the Cougars are tilting the ice in this third. They're trying to get a third. And I think a timeout was just called. No, excuse me. It's an official's mistake on the icing. So that's why the faceoff's now at center. Well, there was a protest from Walkus of Forest Hill, so he was right, apparently. But I'm not sure why. It might have been deflected. And this will be icing against Catholic Central, I think. Yes, as Tilley does not touch it before the goal line. So we go from a potential offensive zone faceoff to a defensive zone draw in the span of about 10 seconds for your Cougars. This is Cougar Puck Radio on the road today. In fact, we will not be at Southside for a couple of weeks, as Catholic Central is going to be taking part in a couple of showcases. First here, the West Michigan Hockey Showcase, second year for that. First year Catholic Central will take part. They'll play Bay Reps and Huron Valley next week. More on that later. Cappinga, oh, that looked like that was onside. I thought Gage Potter was straddling the blue line. Apparently not. Anyway, so there's that next weekend, and then the following weekend, the usual mid-December trip up to Gaylord. And I believe it's the Otsego County Sportsplex will play host once again to the D3 Challenge when the Cougars face Flint Powers as well as the Jeffers Jets. Right to the front of the net. Aaron has to make a save on a swatted puck by Halverson. And he cradles and holds. 8:15 to go in the third. If we're still tied after the third, the two teams will play an 8-minute overtime period. We're not there yet, just letting you know what could be on tap. Juan back to Verker, though. His shot, pinballs around. Side of the goal dodge. Behind the goal, Halverson threw it to the top of the zone. Carlander right there for Catholic Central. To Moss. The Cougars are on side, just barely. Carlander hooks it out to the face-off circle, but it's intercepted. And flip back to the Catholic Central line. Glove down by Onstad. Dodge all over him. Dozema, great puck support. And sends to the open side. That's where Moss was living, but the puck bounced by his glove. Moss wins it right back. Moss to Onstad, right on the blue line. Onstad's shot, saved by Smith with the glove and cleared by the Bird Dogs. Onstad had that one lined up, but Smith was ready for it. Ten Harmsel, a one-man breakout. Casey Ten Harmsel, the pass to McLean right under his stick. Oh, look out. Head man, and it's a breakaway. Nolan Gino, stopped by Aaron, and there's no rebound. That came out of nowhere after the turnover. 7:11 to go in the third, and Aaron keeps it all level 2-2. Airtight Aaron once again. Biggest save of the period for either side. Both goalies looking sharp as we move along into the latter half of the third period. Warden keeps it in the offensive zone for Forest Hills. Postelli reverses right on the money to Parker Moore. Great backhand pass, but his lead delivery out of the reach of McLean. That's icing against Catholic Central. So Nolan Gino just had the breakaway chance. And he's kicking himself as he heads back to the Forest Hills bench, but we'll continue on. 6:51 remaining. Vance versus Cappinga at the faceoff dot. Baum looking for it in his skates. Can't find it. Gage Potter will. Up ahead to Heminger. Surging into the offensive zone. Down the right wing boards. Warden spun him off the puck, but Gage Potter takes it back to Parker Moore. A shot goes wide. Big bounce off the end wall, but the Cougars can't get on it immediately. Now Postelli does. To Gage Potter, to Cappinga, backpedaling high in the zone, looking for some room. Shot, score! It hopped into the goal, off the body of Smith. It's 3-2. The Cougars lead for the first time today. And he wants to drive the Zamboni. Isaac Cappinga overpowers Smith from the left face-off circle. 6:20 left. Two even-strength goals here in the third for the Cougars. This time Cappinga makes it happen. I was just ready to comment on how he gave himself a little bit of runway by pivoting back in the zone toward the blue line, and it worked out perfectly as that gave him enough space and enough time to line up the shot. Give Gage Potter the primary assist. And can the Cougars rip this one away on the road? They're close. Not over yet, though. Still 6 minutes to play in regulation. That jumped off the blocker side arm of Wes Smith and in. Moore changes the angle shot. Stopped by Smith. Right back out to Moore. Taken away strongly by Halverson. One-on-one against Postelli. Halverson plays it to himself, or he tried to, but it went right in on the crease. Aaron made the stop, and then Halverson got a poke on it, and Parker Moore does not like that one bit. Standing up for his goaltender, as you might imagine. Getting close to 5 o'clock on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Yeah, we are firmly ensconced in high school hockey season in Michigan. Outstanding game today as the Bird Dogs have led twice as they took sight on their first win of the season. Now they've got to come back to maybe try to force overtime. Catholic Central, meanwhile, looking to make it 3 wins in a row. Back out to the point and trying to improve to 3-2. Verker couldn't hold it in the attacking zone. Leonard's got a stick on that. Then he tripped Ten Harmsel. Got his stick right under the skate. It'll be a delayed call. Not made yet as the Cougars still have the puck. And Moss moves right by Verker. Moss from the faceoff circle shot the puck and he just missed on the wide side. Dozema flipped it down the boards. Carlander. Cougars still have it. Good pass across, but it's broken up by Verker. He didn't possess it, though. That's why the play continues. Kappinga coming off that goal. Oh, I don't know if Leonard's fully had possession there, but the call is made. Tripping against Tyler Leonards, and then another Cougar went down in the offensive zone. Will there be 2 penalties? I'm not sure. As of right now, I see Leonards going to the box, and that will be it. 5:03 left. Time for some insurance. The 4th tripping penalty against Forest Hills Northern and Eastern in this game. And this power play brought to you by Crispback, one of our Royal Blue sponsors for Catholic Central Hockey 2025-26. Ten Harmsel looking to get that shot through after the face-off controlled again. Carlander snaps it. Glove save by Smith with Cooper Moss standing right in front of Wes Smith after the save was made. Under 5 to play. 4:56 to be exact. Onstadt pulls it loose behind the goal. Cougar power play number 5. Can they make it a 2-goal lead? Ten Harmsel shooting. Hit Warden in front. He blocked it. But right to Cooper Moss. Back on over. Onstadt pulling his way open. Shot. Save. Smith. Rebound. Oh, was still free, but Smith got a quick whistle. Oh, and the Cougars are upset because Moss got dumped by Warden in front of the net. And that could have easily been another penalty against Forest Hills Northern Eastern. But I'm not sure. Nope, not going to be a call. Catholic Central stays on the power play. 1:29 to go on the tripping call to Tyler Leonards. Push back to the line, held Ten Harmsel. Shot never got through. The Cougars are piling up the shot attempts now, though. Kappinga, who has the go-ahead goal in this game. Kappinga and Moss. 2 seniors have come through big in the third, but coughed up by Catholic Central. Halverson chasing back. Ten Harmsel kicked it ahead. What a clutch play. Moss delivering to Kappinga. Couldn't quite lasso it. Still up for grabs. To the middle. Onstadt passing for Moss. Couldn't direct it on target. Onstadt's been in the middle of that zone quite a bit. On the power play. Now he's in the corner. Carlander comes out from behind, or pardon, that was Kappinga, and he's turned away by Smith. And the puck cleared to center by the Bird Dogs. Pustelli has it surrounded. Oh, he left it behind. He gets it right back. And poke check by Duflo, who hightails it to his bench. 3.5 to play in the third. Pustelli, outstanding lead pass, finds Parker Moore. He activates. Bottom edge of the circle, pass across. Pustelli has it collected. 9 seconds left on the power play. Warden neutralizes him, but Pustelli keeps on going. Pustelli looking for a man open. He had a couple in the middle of the zone, but couldn't get it through to either Moore or Gage Potter. And Forest Hills survives the penalty kill situation. But icing called against the Bird Dogs. 2:53 remaining. Each side could call a timeout. They did not do that in that stoppage. So play continues with Gino clearing. Gino got banged up earlier this period. Coughed up to Lagston, and he missed the goal. Might have been blocked away, actually. I think it hit a Catholic Central stick. Weird bounce off the corner boards. Leonards couldn't twist it on goal. McLean clears hard off the wall. Too hard, in fact. It goes for an icing. Jack Reynolds tried to reach out for it, but couldn't get there. 2:24 left. And I'll keep an eye on Wes Smith in the goal down to my left. potentially might be leaving for the extra attacker. Halverson versus Capping at the faceoff dot. Halverson wins it for Forest Hills, but not for long. Heminger drags it away. Smith still in goal, so Heminger couldn't get a shot at an empty net, but he kept it on the wall. Gage Potter up the boards. Onstad. Oh, he couldn't glove it down. 2-on-1 chance back. Halverson looking, feeding across. Oh, a misfire from Duflo between the circles. Halverson passed that with his stick between his own legs. That was unreal. Heminger lets it go. That's off a leg. Capping a rip shot deflected by Gage Potter off the glass. Right over the top of the goal. 1:40 left. Capping a ragging the puck, killing some time. Threw it toward the front. Heminger on it, shot it high right over the top. Maybe Smith got a piece with the blocker. And Cappinga controls and settles things down at center. 1:23 to go. Gage Potter drifting toward the center of the ice. And it had it poked off his stick by Duflo. Halverson down to a knee, still keeps the puck. Halverson behind the goal. 1:07 remaining. The pass far point eludes everybody in a white jersey. Smith is off the ice, by the way. 6-on-5. Extra attacker out there. Gino couldn't put it through the legs of Pastelli, who closed the door defensively. Here comes Morgan Pastelli, surging ahead. Looks for the empty net. Shot was blocked at center. 44 seconds remaining. Gino threw it up through center. Broken up by the Cougars. Moss backhands ahead of the red line. No icing, and it's all the way behind the Forest Hills goal. Gino with 30 seconds. Rips it off the glass. Too far for Lagsden. Might have been deflected, though, I guess. No icing. Pastelli couldn't clear to the middle. Gus Lagsden unable to flag it down. Bouncing puck. 16 seconds. More up the wall. Carlander sends it the rest of the way. Chasing after it, Dozema. 10 seconds to go. Icing the call against Catholic Central. The puck just barely got over the goal line. But get over the goal line it did. 7.8 seconds remaining. And I have to imagine that Coach Tom Bissett of Forest Hills Northern and Eastern is going to use his timeout. And if not him, then it's going to be Catholic Central. No, it is Catholic Central. Well, that's where the referee is pointing. Well, the referee is indicating toward the Catholic Central bench that the face-off is going to be on the right side from their perspective, left wing from the Forest Hills point of view. In this third period, Catholic Central came in trailing, but 54 seconds in, Cooper Moss tied the score off a Noah Onstadt rebound. And then, also at even strength, Isaac Cappinga, 10 minutes later with 6:20 to play in regulation, overpowered Wes Smith with a shot from the left face-off dot. So two seniors, two guys with letters on their jerseys, deliver critical goals, and the Cougars are essentially a face-off win away from a victory. And a third straight win at that. But it all comes down to this. Who can win this last puck battle? Halverson versus Dozema. Halverson draws it back. Warden shoots. Big save by Aaron. Kicked it out to the near side wall. Couple seconds to go. Tilley lobs it toward the front. Broken up by Parker Moore. Cougars win. Cougars win. There's the final horn from Patterson. They survive a road battle here against Forest Hills Northern and Eastern. Catholic Central congratulating Jacob Aaron on one final save in the final 10 seconds. Warden pumped it toward the goal, and Aaron was ready for it. And it's time for handshakes on the West Rink here on the southeast corner of GR. Isaac Cappinga gets the game winner after Cooper Moss tied it early in the third. A 2-goal surge from Catholic Central, and they've won 3 in a row, dropping the Bird Dogs to 0-7 in the early season schedule. That's it for November. December will present a couple of showcases for Catholic Central. Our next broadcast next Friday from right here. I believe that's a 1:45 start time against the Bay Reps, the co-op team from the Traverse City area. Looking forward to seeing so many teams from all across the state of Michigan right here at Patterson Ice Center next weekend for the West Michigan Hockey Showcase. Thanks for watching here on Cougar Puck Radio. I'm Matt Gajtka saying good night. God bless. Have a great rest of your weekend, and talk to you in December with the West Michigan Hockey Showcase.